Hello, all you Warhammer fans, and welcome back to some more Warhammer 40k Tacticus. Today, we're going to be doing the Cygex quest event. Cygex is the Cataphron destroyer for the Adeptus Mechanicus, and he is, let's get into his lore briefly here. These biomechanical constructs operate as mobile heavy weapons platforms, bearing large esoteric cannons. Their ballistic subroutines can be directed to operate independently of pre-programmed battle protocols, making them flexible tools of destruction. Okay, so he's basically a battle servitor, just like most of the rest of the servitors in the Adeptus Mechanicus line, except he has been specially formatted to carry heavier weapons than, say, like the Skitari, who carry normal ranged weapons. Now, something about Cygex, I had actually wanted to do a little bit of an impressions video on him. I just didn't get around to it, so I'm going to do a brief impressions of him here. He's the first unit here who has the vehicle trait, and this just means he doesn't get affected by fire, razor wire, or broken ice. However, he cannot gain the benefit of being in grass or trenches because he's big and he sticks up over the trench. He also has the heavy weapons trait, which will be useful if you use heavy weapon teams in your guild raids or other battles like I do. So if you have Thaddeus Noble from the Imperial Guard, he can give a buff to Cygex here. Two things about Cygex. So first of all, he has the heavy grav cannon. This is the first time we've seen a grav weapon in Tacticus, and this does extra damage and pierce ratio against Gravis armor, Terminator armor, or mechanical units. Now, I will say, I think the grav cannon, I know it's still new, I think it needs a little bit of a buff because in the lore, the grav cannon's basically the bigger the target, the more destructive it is. So I think also targets that have big or vehicle or just any of those traits like the guild raid bosses and things like that should also be affected by this. Maybe they'll change that in the future, who knows? But for now, this is what it works against. The other thing too is his active ability is basically a multi-hit. So you can fire him as normal, you activate the ability, and then you shoot, and then you can either move him again and let him set up an overwatch, or you can shoot again with the grav cannon. So you can basically get 2 shots out of 1 turn with his active ability. This suppresses units, but cannot be used if there's an enemy adjacent to him. Okay, so far, I haven't leveled Cygex up much because, to be honest, I haven't found him all that useful. Since the grav cannon doesn't affect guild raid bosses, unless if it's like Belisarius Call or the Rogel Dorn tank, I don't find him all that useful, so I haven't invested too much resources into him. But let's go ahead, get into the quest here, and try to get some shards for him, see if we can level him up. As usual, I have not watched any guides or anything. We're just going to jump into this and see how far we can get. I think I can get pretty far because I can take Ultramarines and Dark Angels, and they're amongst my most advanced units in this game. So I'm hoping we can get pretty far here. So without further ado, let's jump into it. First battle, fighting some demons. And if it's anything like the other legendary events, or quest events, once we get up to legendary, Cygex will probably be pretty beastly. So let's get him up front here. And you can see, we'll activate his ability. He blasts 1, and now we can either let him be, so he sets up an overwatch, or we can blast another demon. Let's blast another demon. Bam! Get smited, foul spawn of the warp. Now we're going to bring in our Space Marines here. They're going to take the damage, but we'll be okay. Boom. Got through that, no problem. And then as usual, you can go back and max out your score and everything. The more score points you get, the more crates you get, which are really crate, if you know what I mean. All right, what do we got here? We got more demons. Let's bring Sarkwell for fire support. And let's get blasting. Blast the demons. Yes. The bloodletters are going to be a primary target because when they get up close and hit with their swords, they hit really hard. And we're going to use Barrakiel and Bellator to push in, tank up some of the damage. We'll use Sygex and Sarkwell to sit back and do some heavy range support. Looks like we got Terminators and Volk on this next one. Tigurius or Titus? Tigurius or Titus? Thaddeus. All right. So now Thaddeus, he can come in. So see, if I go to activate the ability for Sygex, he can't use it because he's got an enemy adjacent. So his melee attack is actually a flamethrower, which is pretty cool. Let's get Bellator in up front. Barrakiel, get him in there. Sarkwell will save his Plasma Blast just in case we need it here. And then Thaddeus, bring him up. We want Thaddeus in range 2 of Sygex here, so he can gain the special buff for the heavy weapon support. We'll go ahead and blast with the plasma cannons, try to knock out some of these guys. Now we'll go ahead and use the double shot for Sygex here, and since these enemies are in Terminator armor, they should take some extra damage. Let's get Bellator summons in here. And Thaddeus, yeah, smite that traitor with Basilisk Fire. Alright. So we're starting to chew through the guys here. Let's start blasting. Looks like we got everybody kind of penned up in the top here. And let's call down an artillery barrage. Boom! See, all you need is Thaddeus. So far, we're sitting back and we're using fire support, superior firepower, to demolish the enemies here. Alright, we got some demons and havoc in the back. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. Let's blast down 2 demons from the get-go. Get these demons out of here. Barrakiel up front. He tanks the overshot. Not a problem. Sygex, blast that guy. Now Barrakiel blast that guy. Boom. He's still alive. Get him, Bellator. And done. Took care of that guy. He had the high ground and everything, but we had the Emperor's faith. Let's continue on here. We're in uncommon encounter number 2. We got more demons and some Terminators. Terminators should hopefully go down easier with Sygex. Alright, what do we got? We got everybody spread out. So let's kind of get everybody together here. We get Sygex up here with Bellator. Barrakiel, move him in. Sarkwell, let's fall him back so he doesn't get singled out. Alright, so the Terminators came within range, which is a good thing. Let's start shooting them down. Alright. Now Barrakiel with his plasma cannon. Sarkwell comes up from behind the rock. The demons come up. Alright, we're going to blast the demons and the Terminators with Sarkwell. Now let's blast down the Terminators. And Terminator on Terminator violence here, you guys. Boom. Plasma damage for the win. Alright, we're going to continue on here. So next week, if any of you play Space Marine 2, is patch 7.0 for Space Marine 2, where they're going to introduce the Trigon boss fight, which I am very much looking forward to playing. What about you guys? You guys going to be playing that? I think it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, let's get our heavies up front here. Try to thin out the demons. Let's fall back the fire support to the high ground here. We'll keep Cygex within 2 hexes of Thaddeus so they can gain he can gain the heavy weapon benefit. All right, Bellator took some big hits, so we're going to fall him back. We're going to use Cygex to knock down this Terminator. And you can see, even with his double shot, still a little tough. Those Terminators are tough. Go down. We use Thaddeus, try to knock out some of these. Oh, Thaddeus almost killed Bellator. All right, we got the Terminator down. Bellator just went down. We're going to try to knock out the rest of these guys. And we did it. All right, we did not get all 3 medals. I think we can. We're going to continue on, though, into the rare encounters. I'll come back and get the medal another time. And here we go. We're getting into some silver trader guardsmen. But this also means that our guys will be a little stronger as well. So again, Cygex up front. Well, hold on. They got Overwatch. So let's hold up on that. Let's get Barrakill to soak up the Overwatch hits. Now we can move Cygex up, and we're going to do his double hit here. We got one of the Havocs down. The other traders are coming up. Let's blast them away with Barrakill. Bellator, get in there. Take down the Havoc. Cygex, fall back. Blast that one heretic. And we, well, almost got him. He will not go down. There we go. Overkill with the plasma cannon. He's got the only tool you need. Plasma cannon. I'm also completing the dailies here. There's a daily for play 5 battles or 8 battles with Cygex surviving them. So we're getting through that. All right, we got 1 Terminator. Bellator, Barrakill. I'm actually going to hold here. I'm going to let them come at us so that way the Terminator can spawn in. Cygex knocked down 1 trader with the Overwatch. And now we're going to focus down this Terminator. And he took him down. Barrakill's going to move up, smite some demons. Bellator, let's get his summons in. All right, so now we have some damage sponges. All right, we got that done. Victory. Victory. That is what the preachers cry from the spires of their temples. Oh, sorry. I just watched that trailer again. That trailer is so cool. All right, what do we got here? We got more demons. We got more traitors. They must all be purged, brothers. All right, so we're going to let the demons come to us. Yeah, we'll let the demons come to us. Skip a turn. We'll do an Overwatch shot here. All right. Cygex will blast this first demon out of the way. Then Barrakill will come up, smite the last 2. Bellator is going to get his summons off. And now we have bullet sponges. Or last rifle sponges. All right, and there we have it. We took down the rest with Bellator. By the way, I apologize if I sound a little nasally. I'm sick yet again, and that's part of the reason why there's been a slight lack of content lately. Been going through a lot of health problems. Not just me, but my family as well. We keep getting sick, which is frustrating. But I'm still trying to get in here with the content for you guys. We're going to hold the high ground, let them come at us. We got Overwatch taking things. All right, we got 2 Terminators to deal with. So let's focus down this one that got behind us. All right, he's down. Now we're going to use Sarquel's plasma cannon. We'll get that extra plasma cannon damage against this Terminator. Barrakiel did a good hit on him. He's still alive, but he's low health. Bellator summons are in play. And we'll use Cygex to finish him off. Come on. There we go. All right. And now we just got to focus down the last of these heretics. One left. And he goes down to Blessed Bolter Fire. Ooh, look at that. We almost maxed out the high score on that too. Let's continue on here. A crate. It's really crate. All right, here we go. Last encounter for rare. All right. We got Tacticus. We got Bellator, Sarquel. All right, what we're going to do, we're going to hold the high ground. We're going to let Overwatch do its thing. Here we go. Skip a turn, let them come at us. Harkon World Claimer has been defeated. He cannot take Cadia. All right. We're going to use Thaddeus to soften him up with the artillery barrage. Didn't do much. Let's fall back Cygex so he can get shots off on the Terminators. All right, Terminators are down. Now, the heretics are kind of in the way of the Terminators here. Okay, let's move Bellator out of the way. Let's get Sarquel up on the high ground. And let's get Barrakiel in there. All right, another Terminator down. Barrakiel is going to soak up some of the damage for us. Now, Bellator, let's get his summons off. All right, summons have been summoned. And now we're just going to finish off these Traitor Guardsmen that have pushed their way into our lines. They're all down. Now we can focus down what's left of the Terminators. Boom. And Cygex finishes them off with the heavy grav cannon, which again does extra damage against Terminator armored enemies. All right, we are moving on to the epic encounters. Here we go. We have some Silver 3 demons. This ought to be interesting. So we're going to get Cygex up on the high ground. Let's get his double shot off, thin out these demons a bit. We'll put Barrakiel up there next to him to help him out. We'll put Bellator next to him as well. All right, the demons are nice and clumped up for us. Boom, that's 3 of them down. And now we can start thinning their numbers. Bellator summons, and all we got left is a demon and a traitor. My slow-moving machine and Terminator trying to get in range. And we blast them. Blast them, Barrakiel. By the way, doing this event also helps with getting your achievements unlocked or the missions unlocked for Tarvak. So if you guys are working on Tarvak right now, the new World Eater character, I'm working on him as well. I'm on the one, use 150 abilities with characters. So I'm still chewing my way through that one right now. And this event will hopefully help us get that through. All right, we have a Havoc with Overwatch. Let's get Bellator in there nice and close so he can't do much damage. Now we can knock out these demons. Let's get Barrakiel up front to tank some of the damage for us. Bellator takes the hits. Barrakiel takes the hits. Come on, block. Okay, there we go. All right, Sarquel, let's get him over. And we'll Plasma Blast so we can get the damage bonus with Barrakiel. All right, we got some of the Terminators down. We're going to move Bellator over. Distract the demons. Bring Cygex up. Work on the Terminators. We can use this double shot here. Oh, I thought I had line of sight to the second one, but we didn't. That's okay. Crushing strike from the Deathwing Terminator. Boom. We did it. We have done it. Let's continue on here. We're going to go to another crate. Another crate. By the way, getting crates is also a great way to get your badges and things. Okay, we got Archimedos and a Terminator who is definitely determined to get us. Maybe he's one of Abaddon's personal guards because he's got diamond wings. All right, here we go. Let's see. Is everybody kind of set up how I want them? No, let's swap out Thaddeus with Barracuda there. Okay. So let's make sure these demons do not reach our lines. We'll get Bellator and Barracuda up front. And let's let Sarquail go into Overwatch. Perfect. He saved it. No! No! Thaddeus! Ah! The hero of Cadia has fallen! We must avenge him! Kill this Terminator! Die, foul traitor to the Emperor! Alright, the Terminator has been defeated. Archimedes is still in play. He has summoned demons to his side. But fear not, we shall defeat them. Punch him. Yeah. Barracuda punched him in the face, and he is down. All right, we got 2 medals on this one. Again, we can come back, work on this one, get all 3 medals. Let's push on into the legendary encounter. We're already there, you guys. We are already there. Okay. We have the Despoiler himself, his personal Terminator bodyguard, and some Havocs to wreak havoc amongst our line. See what I did there? All right, what do we got? Let's put our fire support there in the corner. Let's start this up. We're gonna hold off. We're gonna let them come to us. We're gonna put Bellator and Barracuda up front to soak up the damage. We'll use Overwatch has defeated Abaddon. He despoils no more. All right, now the Terminators are nice and clumped up. Let's blast them with Sarquail. Blast them again with Barracuda. So again, you want to use Sarquail first because his special ability gives extra damage to plasma weapons on the turn that he uses that. All right, we've knocked down all but one of the Terminators. We still got a Havoc up. Let's bring in our summons. They've moved back a bit, but fear not. We'll catch up to them. We'll get them. We can do this. Keep pressing the traitors back. No! Thaddeus! Ah! Die, foul traitor. Okay. The legendary mission has been completed. We got a couple more tokens. Let's give this one another try. We got a crate. We're going to do the legendary one more time here. I'm going to stick with the same strategy. It seemed to work before. Heavies up front to soak up the damage. Let's let them enter Overwatch. Abaddon's down. Havocs and Terminators do their damage. We'll get Bellator in front of Thaddeus this time. Sarquail's Plasma Blast, then Barracuda's Plasma Blast. Thaddeus's Artillery Barrage, and now we're going to do the double hit with Cygex here. Boom, both Terminators have been defeated. And all we got left is this Havoc. Boom, we did it, you guys. We did it. We have gotten 3 medals on the legendary counter. So that was kind of the trick. We left Thaddeus exposed last time. He got gunned down by Stormbolter fire. And then we have gotten that medal. Okay, we got 2 more left. We got 2 more tokens left. Let's try to go through these last encounters. Thank you for sticking around with this one if you're still here. Let's do what we did before. We'll get Bearkeel, Bellator, Sygex and Sarcoil in Overwatch. We'll keep Thaddeus back. Punch a demon because punching demons is fun. Overwatch knocks out 2 of the enemies. No, they still... he cut through and got to Thaddeus. Oh, well. Oh, well. We might come back, try to do that again, but I'm not sure if I want to spend any more Blackstone on the tokens this time. Probably just watch the ads to get a couple more tokens. Why is that one harder than the legendary? I don't know. Okay, so kind of a short and sweet one for you guys here. So that's Sygex. That's his quest. We've gone through all the missions, so you can get a look at what you're dealing with. You can also see where Sygex is useful and where he is not useful. For me, he's not a big knock it out of the park character this time around. I think he's just kind of like a mediocre support character for now. Maybe once I level him up, I'll see if he does anything else. But again, I think the grav cannon needs a little bit of a buff to make sure it's also good against large targets. So he'll be more viable for guild raids. All right, everyone, that has been Sygex's Quest. Thank you so much for joining me on this one. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.